happening, everyone? Hex is in the green. Have you heard? Have you heard? I saw it. It looks great too. It's amazing. Amazing what it can do after something goes down 95% and it goes up 100% in a couple weeks. You're like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's we got to celebrate the victories while we have them. We've been a little short on as far as price performance victories during the bear market, like everyone else has as well. But yeah, this is fun. It's fun. I'm going to throw it up there real quick just to show it before I introduce our guest, our music show today, which I'm very excited about as well. But let me throw up the chart, and I'll throw it back up when the gentlemen get in here too. But I want to share economics HEX just to give you all a little bit of an idea of this is nice. Very, very nice. Look at this. 1 week. Look at that. What does that look like to you? Stay clean. Stay clean. It's pretty good to me. Looks pretty good to me. Very exciting, everyone. HEX is up. The community is up. PulseChain is closer than it was yesterday to launching. I guarantee you that. And I'll throw the Richard tweet up a little bit later too and get into it with these guys. But there's some more updates. You see that? Boom, more updates. Dev, outrage marketing. Beautiful stuff. Everyone share the link. Smash all the buttons. I'm about to bring in a couple guest surveyors, both of which I've had on the show before. But it's been a while since I had Scott Foster Harris on the show. And then he actually, last time he inspired me. He got me back into music a little bit. And it made me want to throw up a song. Every time I say throw up, I just, like, is there a better way I can say that? Create more music. He made me want to get back into doing music a little bit. So some jams came out of that. And then Corey Investor, of course, I had him on the show a couple months ago or so, and we went through the ringer on just a whole bunch of stuff too. Super good interview. Everyone, if you want to type in RHMax, Corey Investor, RHMax, Scott Foster Harris. Scott has an amazing PulseX story that was one of very, very top clips I've had on the channel as well. Very inspiring story. So anyways, without further ado, let's bring him in one at a time. The first guy on my queue is Scott Foster Harris. Welcome back.
Yo.
Look at, he's got the man beard. He's got it going.
It was at first it was an act of apathy, and then it just kind of became a thing. And then a few weeks ago, I was like, yeah, it's time to shave. And the wifey was like, nope, you're not going to do it. And I'm like, yeah, but look at it. And she's like, yeah, it's all right. Let it roll for a little while. And I thought, you know what? It's cold. It was about to start snowing and icing. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to keep it. So I've kept it. Won't be here forever though. So don't get used to it. But thank you. That's super kind of you.
Beards are optional. They are optional. You can take them away. You can put them back. Sometimes it takes time. But yeah, man, I could not bear to put the rock star shave face picture on the thumbnail. I'm like, that's not what he looks like now.
No,
like this.
It's kind of it's a liability, the beard, because when you have your coffee, and especially if it's foamy, you drink your coffee and then you just got foam all over your mustache.
That's true.
Or whatever you're eating, you always have to be careful or else it gets weird.
I got to trim my, when I grow a mustache too, I don't grow a very good beard, but when I let the mustache grow a little bit with the beard, I'm always like, dipping stuff in it. It's itching in the nose. You gotta like maintenance. I'm like, that's why I do 5 o'clock shadow. I try to do it all the time. Cause I'm like, I don't have to do anything. Once a week, shave it all off. It grows back, shave it off again when I want to, and don't have to do anything. It's the lazy,
a good cycle.
Productivity. I think so. Cleansing your face.
Yeah. It's weird. After a few minutes, it starts off strange. And it gets in a weird, uncomfortable phase, but eventually it gets to where it's nice and cozy. And once it gets to that, when your skin gets used to it and you get used to it and it gets all cozy, you kind of don't want to shave it. I'm afraid I'm getting to that point, which is why I'm probably going to shave it, because I don't want to be in a position where I don't want to shave it.
I like that.
As ridiculous as that sounds.
Yeah. You only want to lock yourself into hex steak, not so much having a beard all the time. You don't want to like it too much.
Word.
Well, speaking of hex, I got an investor coming on the show that, like I said, it's been a couple months, but he's back today. Welcome to the show, Corey, an investor. How's it going?
What's going on, Max?
Yo,
how you guys doing, man?
Good to see you, man.
Good to be seen, man. Same here.
Right on.
It's been we're talking in the green room that it's been a while. Like 6 months feels like forever, and then a lot has changed. The world is changing. It's it's been an interesting time. It literally feels like 6 months is like 3 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, it does.
And 2 months feels like January last year or something like that.
Man.
We're representing 3 very distinct and different geographical locations of the United States right now, aren't we?
It's true. We're kind of this way, or let's see,
kind of
this
makes
way. A B. We're doing like a B.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
How about that?
Yeah, I got a stream coming up with the local Washington Hexkins on the 8th. No, 8th is open mic. Let's see, 7th, I think. And we're vying for the best local Hexkin group, which I know it's a hard task. I know there's a lot of good ones out there, but we have some pretty cool events, and I'm excited to showcase all those guys.
That's what's up.
So you just said open mic. Are you referring to you're going to go to a bar, hop up on stage, and sing some songs?
No, I just got the context of like a musician's open mic versus so open mic. The way I do it is just anyone can come on stream and talk about.
Cool.
Talk with us. So it's like an open StreamYard link in the chat, basically.
Oh, sweet. That's fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
But when I'm talking to you guys and I think open mic, I'm like, oh yeah, getting on stage and performing just at a place that will just let you on with no
show up with a guitar,
strings attached. Yeah.
Act like you know what you're doing, and they'll let you up. Yeah. Sing a song or something.
Yeah. Is that something you ever do, Corey? Like, do you ever like just, is there a place that you just show up, or maybe you know the people, maybe you don't, but you just show up and they just go, we know that. Yeah, go ahead. Like,
no place like that. You know, like I said,
okay.
Hex actually created my music career, so or music venture, let's say that. And man, I've done karaoke here and again with the wife, but yeah, not too much walking in solo, stepping on stage.
Dude, it's hard. It's really, doing it in the studio versus like actually getting on stage and being in front of people and like consuming the audience type of thing. It's hard. I've did it a few times, but it's definitely nerve-wracking, and especially doing an open mic where, like you don't even know that you have the fan base. You don't even know that people maybe they don't know you. And then you're like, you don't have the support that you would have if you were, doing a gig or something like that.
Exactly.
It's rough, but that's what I want to get into too. And I got this thing up here looking at these beautiful green lines in the chart.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple gentlemen's stuff up here, and I'll throw them in the chat.
Oh, check that out.
Chat can look at them too. But yeah, Corey, you want to go through? I don't have any audio on here, but you just want to talk about, you said that kind of Hex got you into music too, or got you, maybe writing and creating stuff. What was your, briefly your background on that?
Well, I had a 9-to-5 working in the telecommunication business, and I was in crypto in 2017. So did the whole Big Connect thing and went through that whole madness. And again, ran in Richard Hart and looked at what he was producing, and, kind of got my head around what crypto really was. And he was educating me to a degree where I took a lot from him, and I'm still learning. And I think we're all still learning. And basically what I did is, invested in Hex. It helped me actually retire from my 9-to-5. And then with that, I said, hey, he's talking about everyone contributing. We had RG3, we had Kinetics, we had Discord Syndicate, Hexologists, and Dollar Cost, and of course, Crypto Coffee. And they were all contributing as far as doing YouTubes and streams and everything. And then I heard Freddie Quotes. He made his song, and it's called "Don't Call It a Scam." You know what I'm saying? So that was my song. I was like, all right, cool. It was a nice little rock type song, and I like hip hop. So I said, let me try to create something that I can contribute the same way. Just make a song. I wasn't even thinking of making more, just something to contribute. And I liked the song. A lot of people that were in the space, they enjoyed it as well. And I just started making a few of them. And I was just trying to contribute again to get out on that platform of hip hop and music in general, and just trying to communicate in that way. People are communicating through videos. Some people are doing Crypto Sparbuck. They're going around the country doing meetups. So everyone's doing their part, and I just want to play a little part. That's it. Yeah, man.
Fantastic. Yeah. And so have you been working on new stuff this year yet? What's the latest? What's the pulse on Corey Investment as far as creative works?
Yeah, man, I got a song or two set up, lined up already. I'm trying to do like 2 or 3 videos this year. My cousin, he's in editing and filming, and so he's helped me on my first project, and just gonna make like 2 or 3 videos. I'm trying to do a song with Freddie Quotes, Black KC Crypto, And another person that's in the crypto space, Sproovy Coins. He's a guy who made a song with on another crypto. But yeah, just trying to make something work with a few guys, mix and mingle, and just try to keep the music out, keep people interested, and make it sound good while we're doing it.
Beautiful,
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
it. Scott's got quite a story too. He's I'll go ahead and throw his page up. Boom! Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Who designed your website, man?
We did.
Oh,
we used.
Wow. Explain that.
Yeah, I'm not good enough to code all that. What did I use? I think we used Squarespace. I'm pretty sure we used a Squarespace template. It's been a little while because I put that up like 2 years ago I put that up 2 years ago when we thought we'd have this album done like in 6 months. And here we are 24 months later.
Music is hard.
Dude, it's just time, because we moved during that time. That happened. Then the lockdown thing happened.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, well, I'll just get a lot of work done. And then, it's not the way that it went. We started doing other things. We started doing other things online, just trying to make some money because we were in Vegas at the time and all of the Vegas gigs like stopped overnight. So almost all of our income stopped overnight. All I had was my studio income.
Damn.
Yeah, we had to do other things. And then we moved to Texas.
On top of that. Sheesh.
Yeah. So we just, time goes by. And, a year has gone by or 6 months in the case of since you and I have talked, and you just don't get nearly as much done as you plan on, as you want to. Now, I will say this last week, the last few weeks, I've been crushing it in here, working on this exact album. And I'm happy about it because it's been so long since I've been able to really concentrate on it and let that be the focus of my life. Usually it's a little side. I've got a few hours. Let me go in here and see if I can, lay this down real quick or sing that or do something like that. But it's nice to be able to wake up, have some coffee, get it out of the mustache, relax, feel good, come up here and dedicate the day to it like I used to do. And you just, when you can do that, man, you can get so much done. You can just plow through it.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been doing the last couple of weeks. It's felt nice.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask too, is how do you kind of get yourself in the mood for creativity? Is it just about like your environment, or do you just, like for me, for example, I'll just be like, I'll have inspiration for something and okay, I'm focused on that. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to stop until I get it finished. I'm going to do all this stuff. And it just kind of consumes me. Like the Naval quote, inspiration is perishable. Like I totally just run with it. But like, yeah, you want to talk about that, Scott? And we'll go to Corey after you. Just like, how do you produce stuff like that? How do you be so effective, in music and in creativity and really use that to make something cool?
Kind of the same way that you just said it. I laser beam focus on it and just dive in. I say, this is what I'm going to do today. And in the beginning, when you're first getting started, that's hard to do because you don't really know, somebody might not know what they're doing as much, or they might not be able to as easily, not necessarily get into the mood, but get into the right mindset to hammer something out, whether it's for a client or whether it's for your own project or whatever it is. But after you've done it for so long, it's just like flipping a switch. I come up here, I sit down, I'm like, all right, create mode. And we just, do it until the time of day comes where you got to go do something else, or you have to commit your attention to something else. But I don't ever have trouble. And I'm grateful for this because this wasn't always the case. In the beginning, this was not the case. I really had to find inspiration. I really had to, walk around, go to bookstores, read books, try to find good ideas for titles, for songs, all sorts of things. And now it's just become part of my nature, or maybe it always was part of my nature, but I've figured out over time, it has become awakened to such a degree that I can access it at any time. And so I can just go into create mode, flip of a switch. And so that's what I do. And like you just said, I just laser beam focus on it until I have to go do something else or until I'm done.
Yeah, I used to. It was like, I had trouble sleeping, but now I've got it more under control. I'm like, okay, I do this like the affirmation where whatever it is, it isn't worth losing sleep over. You can do it tomorrow. You're going to have plenty of time. So I've worked on myself with that. But yeah, I used to be really bad. I'd wake up. If I had a project in mind, I'd wake up 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. and just blaze through it. And I don't care how much sleep I lost. I don't care how much energy I had. I'd coffee it up, do whatever it took. But like I needed to get it done, and I needed to like make progress, or else I just, you know, it was just like that laser focus you're talking about.
There's pros and cons to both.
It can be tough. Maybe that was like I hadn't like honed it. I haven't like been. I think these days I'm more disciplined about it. Like I understand I can still produce well and still be like get it done without having it to be all consuming too. But it feels good to be all consumed sometimes. It feels just like, I don't know, there's a purity about it. I like it. How about you, Corey? Like how do you get into the cycle, man?
Well, me personally, like I get inspired by what's going on in the space. So I look at what's going on. I made music for some of the things about how I got into crypto. I made a song about diamond hands. I made songs about the market going down and waiting for it to come up. So it's about really what's going on in the market and getting some inspiration from that. And then it's just, you know, me, I make music to tracks. I don't write first. I listen to music and then hear what I like, and then I write to that. So that's my order of operation, how I create music.
And speaking of motivation there, I just wanted to throw that HEX chart up there again.
There we go. Yeah, new ones in there.
This makes me happy.
Looking good.
That's what all those big old dips. This is what that was for.
That's it, man.
I know. Like, and if you're still around, I mean, if you've been around a week, you're feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, a month, whoa, and then just, you know,
the
there's a lot of
challenge
stuff going on.
The challenge is, you know, you have X amount of dry powder. It's like, this is how much I have available. I'm going to commit it all, but at what points am I going to commit it all? Because I don't want to, you know, the struggle that everybody goes through is, I'm going to commit it all. I'm going to commit a percentage of that here because I really like that price. Goes a little lower. I'm going to DCA into that and constantly DCA. But you're always, at least for me, it seems like I'm always DCAing the same amount in even smaller amounts at times, because I'm like, man, I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't know when PulseChain's coming out. I don't want to run out of dry powder. So, and it's a dance. It's a dance to try to figure out how to maximize your HEX with the dry powder that you have, and feeling confident that you did the best you could. Nobody's going to do it perfect, of course not. But the last thing I wanted to do is max out all my dry powder, have a lot of HEX, and then some other crazy thing happen and it just plummet back down to 1.5 cents or half a penny or something, which I think is not even close to going to happen. But that's always in the back of your mind. And you know, this was my first time to go through all this. I've never, you know, when I got into crypto, it's just gone down since then. That's all I've known is just down. But I know what it's going to do because I've studied. I spent a lot of time looking at the history. So I know what this part of the cycle is.
Yeah.
But knowing something existentially and experiencing it emotionally with a certain amount of expectation or presumption, rather, those are two very different things. You know, you can know with your mind what's going to happen. It's like, I'm going to watch this guy ride a bike. If I don't know how to ride a bike, okay, I see how it's done. I understand what has to happen, but you can't actually do it until you're on the bike and you start riding.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, and those are both necessary things, but they're two different things. And it's, you know, I'm really excited about experiencing the bike riding part instead of spending a year learning about it. I'm excited to actually do it.
There you go, man.
You know,
I love the way you said it too, because it just puts in just a spotlight on true believers versus get rich quick. There's like these two dichotomy of people in crypto, and you see who they are. You know, maybe on Twitter, you see how they post about things, or you see if they came in. Like Scott came in, it's only been down, and this guy has never been bullish on these products. It's just like true believer, right? And then you have like everyone who's like Richard's a liar, scammer, refund. Man. It's just like you can see the difference. So yeah,
I was trying to find. I was speaking of the refund, and then I was actively trying to find a safe and secure way.
Yeah.
And then B, find someone who's willing, because I know they're out there, to actually buy their sacrifices.
I thought about that too. Is cross my mind.
You know, and I can't I've found some people that might be willing, but you know, you have to raise an eyebrow. You're kind of iffy. I don't know how that would work. Who holds escrow, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They always have the keys. How do we handle that? I don't know. And so I don't think it's worth the risk, but it was something I was entertaining hardcore for a while.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was going to say, basically, I know exactly how you feel. Like I do YouTube as well. And probably maybe 2 years ago when HEX was coming out, I was talking about all the cryptocurrencies I was in. And I'm like, I see that Bitcoin was a survivor. I saw that Ethereum was on the rise. And I'm like, okay, these are the coins that have been here for years so far. You know, Ethereum was only 2-3 years. And I'm like, that's good. I said, the coins that I've seen come and go, they've had a purpose or a use case, but they've always faded. They've never fulfilled what they were to do, or they were scams, or they, you know, just had bad management, bad code. And I'm like, okay, the thing that separates the majority of cryptocurrencies I've seen is that the staying power. And the whole thing is if the cryptocurrency can just stay around, have a community, it really has a life of its own. And I was saying in the video, I said, Richard Hart, I had a personal letter. I said, Richard Hart, I said, if HEX does what it's supposed to do, people are going to say, thank you, God bless you. But if the code is messed up or something is not right, it's going to be Richard Hart, mother F you. I just had to be honest with myself because I was in it, and I always wanted to tell people about it the honest way and just give them my experience. But that's what I was feeling at that point in time, until, you know, being in it over time, seeing people go in the dips, selling a little bit of HEX back then, not knowing I double, triple. I'm like, oh man, should I just get out? Is it going back down? But I had stakes, so I couldn't get out. So that saved me basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, once you see it in motion, you see it start going, you have stakes coming out, you have a little liquid on the side, you're able to go through this whole process and then see a top, try to get some liquid out, and then get ready for the next bottom. So
HEX does a lot of beautiful things, and one of them is save yourself from yourself. Like that's super underrated. That it's just price performance is one thing. Like having actual utility as a product that you can trustless, that's another thing. But like making you where you have to hold on to it. I was thinking today, I was literally having a conversation with somebody, and I was thinking, if I had a bunch of cash, let's say I have a bunch of cash, and I'm like, okay, I want to hang on to it for a few months. I want to make sure I don't spend it. I wish I had should I put it into crypto? I wish I had something like HEX, but in the real world, because like it would stop me from being tempted to spend on this or that when I have it in mind for something else going on. But it just proliferates you. Once you understand these core ideals, it's like you want to apply them even in your own life. And I think that's a very healthy way. A healthy product is something that, you don't only do it at work, you don't do it at on online or in crypto. It's like you actually apply it to your own life and be better from that. And it's just it amazes me all the time. I'm still learning or seeing these things that have positive effect on me from just being in this ecosystem
in real time.
In real time. Well, that's something I wanted to discuss too, which is it's been a while since we heard Scott's story on this, but I'd love to hear it, at least an abbreviated version of you had an amazing PulseX story that I mentioned at the beginning too.
Oh, yeah.
Just what drew you into the RH ecosystem, and if you want to tell that or tell something else otherwise, but like that, and then we'll let Corey talk about it as well. But it's just I always love hearing these. It's like baby testimonials of like this is how I found the best. This is what got me in. So I always think it's fun to talk about that.
Yep. Dude, first it was RH himself. Just I stumbled, of all the interviews to stumble across by accident, I stumbled across the one of the very few where he wasn't very offensive. This was before the outrage stuff started. I don't know how I would have responded then, not knowing who he was. I don't know. I would have had. I wasn't put in that situation, so I don't know how I would have responded. But
gotcha.
I stumbled across one of the only interviews where he was very respectful and cool and relaxed, and just the words that came out of his mouth, and then his body language and the demeanor and the conviction with which he spoke, and the respect that he had while he was speaking. I was just, I was impressed. I was like, whoever this person is, I like him. Seems like a person that doesn't need anything from me, and I'm going to trust him. And then so I started learning about him. And then I learned, like, the next day I was learning about PulseX and the sacrifice. And sacrifice was already underway, but it had been underway for maybe a couple of weeks. So I didn't get the best rate, but I did not get the worst rate either. I got somewhere in the middle, an average. And I was like, I have to make a decision right now. I don't have time to sit here and think about it and twiddle my thumbs. I'm going to give it a shot. Let's just give it a shot. And if nothing works out, then I lose what I lose. And if it does work out, awesome. And I liked Richard, and I liked the things that he said, and I liked the way that he said it. And after I'd sacrificed, I spent a lot of time. Obviously, I stumbled into HEX, learning a lot about HEX. And I was like, this is like the best design. I don't know a lot about crypto, but of the things that I know, I can't imagine that there's something that's designed that's better than this. Like, the fundamentals are it is one no-brainer after another. Yeah. Just no-brainer after no-brainer after no-brainer. And I thought, man, if he puts the same kind of effort and prowess into PulseX and PulseChain, it's just going to be a world of no-brainers that we get to live with. So I'm going to dive in. So I started buying HEX, lots of HEX, and started staking, all the HEX that I could. Because I think, like you just said a few minutes ago, Corey, you couldn't spend, should I, now that we're up top, should I sell it? Should I buy it? What should I do? You couldn't do that because you were staked. That tendency, while it may still be there, sort of, it wasn't nearly as prevalent as it would have been if you opened up your MetaMask every day and you see your dollar amount diminishing. That would have been that would have caused some emotional decisions. And staking, that's one of the main reasons to stake, I think. And a lot of people, some will bring it up, but I think it's really easily overlooked. And it helps us protect ourselves from our emotional selves. It allows the intellectual self to win out over the emotional self. And if the opportunity for the emotional self to win out over the intellectual self in a moment, in those types of moments, usually the emotional self is going to win. And so people, we will wreck ourselves. And one of my favorite aspects of staking is simply that. The yield is just a beautiful, beautiful bonus, but the protection that we can offer ourselves by doing that, that's one of the most wonderful aspects of HEX. I love it. I know I got off subject. Apologize for that. I just, but yeah, that's how I got into PulseX, and that's how I got into PulseChain. That's how I got into the community, into the ecosystem. That's how I got into HEX. I stumbled across a video by accident of Richard Hart giving a respectful interview where I liked everything that he said for 2 hours. I was like, this is the guy. I'm going to go ahead and get into crypto now because of this interview, and I'm going to get into whatever that guy does. That's how it happened.
Yeah, man.
How about you, Corey? What's any story of just what drew you into the ecosystem?
Well, like I said, being within HEX already is Richard Hart, of course. Like I said, his demeanor, I think I'm a good judge of character and good judge of people. And he had that same vibe. Like, I just saw him, I heard him, and I'm just, I'm amazed of what he's saying, of how simple it is, but how it's being distorted of what cryptocurrency is and how he breaks it down. He debated a lot of people who are in the space already, which he came up with, and basically wrecked them. I mean,
bring your heroes here to die.
That's it, man. One by one, they just fell, and I'm like, all right. So are these people are either misguided, they don't understand what crypto really is, and when he was talking about HEX, a lot of people were just discounting, what he was able to do, and I'm like, Bitcoin and Ethereum may not be the only two cryptocurrencies that will be, in control of users' hands and won't have a third party. There will be other protocols that will be created in the future. And I'm just like, people think technology is done. I'm like, if that was the case, I felt like a person who invested in Elon Musk. He had PayPal, he branched off, he went to another company, he made those people who invested in him millionaires. He went back to those people to help him fund the next venture and the next venture. And I think that's what he's creating, a community of people who he helps, become financially sovereign. And then at the same time to pay him back, it's like a give and take. You give these people something and they respect you for it, and they also want to see you win. So if you have anything else, you have, you have the mind, you understand the space. If you have something that requires dollars, we're just going to contribute, and it's like a circle. You know what I'm saying? He creates, we reap some benefits, and then we try to push it out to other individuals and spread the message. So that's what actually got me with him. So like I said, he made me retire from HEX. I said, I got to invest in PulseChain, PulseX, because this man is doing something that other people aren't. He's warning individuals about what crypto isn't. Some people aren't listening. He's being blackballed and, taken out from major spaces. It didn't make sense. It's kind of like what's going on in the world today. The people who are speaking the truth are being blackballed, and the people who are lying, they just let them lie or not tell the truth. Let's just say that. So but hey, if you can disseminate all of that, you can see individuals and products that do what they say they're supposed to do. I think it's an easy thing to invest in, what Richard Hart is doing. I just hope he gets back to that calm speaking guy that, we all know and love. I know he's doing this thing, but hey, we all are at some point. But like Scott just said, that was the guy that got him in. I don't know how many people he's pushed away by doing what he's done.
I have some theories on that.
Go for it.
You want to hear it?
Let's go.
I could be. Tell me how off I am on this, but I think it's 2 or 3-fold.
Mm-hmm.
I think first, of course, he's doing it to attract lots of attention, or did it. He's really calmed down significantly, and I have a theory on that. But of course, he did it to attract lots and lots of attention and get lots of young eyes that don't have a lot of money, but that care about that sort of thing to come in.
Yep.
A. B, and this one might even be more significant. I think, that's all. He could obviously smell the bear, obviously. And so he probably thought, now might be, if I'm ever going to do it, or if we're ever going to get a lot of the paper hands out, a lot of the bad actors out, a lot of those with bad intentions or ill intentions, or who don't care, who don't love the product and just want to dump on everybody's heads. If we ever want to get them out, now's really the only time to do it. And so I think maybe, and I could be way off, but I think that had a lot to do with why he acted the way that he did throughout most of 2022 and why he was so absurd, which I could be completely wrong. But if he did that purposefully, it's a stroke of genius if he did that purposely, because that really worked. I mean, you can look on the chain. Dudes are just dropping hundreds of millions of HEX at the bottom, and then they'll tweet about it and be like, "Yeah, look what I did." It's like, man, his technique, if that's what it is working beautifully.
The greatest experiment of delayed gratification in the world.
Word.
Could have been.
What you're saying, Scott. I also felt the same way because, again, he announced PulseChain would launch about 22 months ago. Now, over the time, he's saying people have been selling, like you said, millions and millions of HEX. Everything is on chain with HEX. So he can see the big wallets. We can all see them. Once you see them start selling, there's no real need. Wait for them to empty out their bag.
Yeah.
And then if the ones that are holding, those are the ones that really believe. And you're not going to get everyone out. But if you get the majority of those guys out, now it's nothing but high upside.
That's right. The next cycle is going to be way less volatile.
Yes. Yep.
With that, by getting all of those big holders out who don't love it the way that most of us do.
Yep.
And I think that was brilliant if that's what he was doing. And a lot of me thinks that was a big part of it. That's why I was like, it's a 2 or 3 pronged attack. And that was that was an important prong, I think.
Well, it didn't come without risks.
True.
If you've seen the FUD, you've seen the SEC, you've seen the number of haters have went up as well. So I think there's been a if that's true, for example, we speculate it could be, then he's playing 4D chess. He's making these moves. He's looking at the trade-offs. He's looking at the pros and cons. And maybe that's what he was thinking. Now
check this out. Here's where the plot thickens.
Uh-oh.
it can, what's the best way to say this? The squeakiest tire, as we know, this common adage, is the one that gets the attention. Now, we don't think about how well the other 3 tires are working. That 4th tire is the one that's like, stop. And so if you don't have to put a lot of effort into it, if it just stops and everything's smooth again, it is astounding how we as humans almost instantly just forget about it and forgive it. By the time we get to wherever we're driving to, it's out of our minds. It's gone. We just, we go into, Kroger and buy a sandwich or whatever it is that we're there to do. And I think, and that it's the same type of situation that happens with public figures. Not, maybe that's the wrong way to put it. I have noticed that people are willing to forgive people, maybe not these last couple of years due to the whole cancel thing, but people, man, I don't know how to put this in words. I'll stick with the squeaky tire analogy. I think that as soon as his tune changes, and I think it will change because I don't think this is his natural tune, and it kind of has changed already. As soon as he starts being public again and going on spaces and giving interviews and things of this nature, where his aggressive nature and slightly disrespectful nature is pushed off to the side, and he presents himself very articulately, which he can do, and in a very calm, confident, and charming manner, which are all elements of his character. I think very quickly people will forget about and forgive the chaos of his personality in 2022, or calculated chaos. I think it's all calculated, but I think people will very quickly forgive that and forget about it. And after he's gone on a big space 2 times or maybe 3 times, whenever he starts talking, people already stop talking and they listen, but they're always thinking, what's going to happen? Is he going to say something crazy? I think they'll go right back into listening to what he's saying intellectually, like, those are great ideas. Those are great points. That's what I think will happen. I think we'll quickly forget about the squeaking wheel, and he'll start drawing in those who are genuinely interested again. That was a long way to say that, but yeah, that's what I think about that. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, you've already seen him the last couple of weeks go into dev outrage marketing, where he just says a whole bunch of technical stuff and shows some screenshots, and then he gives me a bunch of material to go on stream and talk about it and dev-splain to everyone about it. So he's been evolving. It's been interesting the last couple of weeks because he did, at the HEX conference, he was like, I don't know about any of this stuff, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to provide you dev status updates now. So that's nothing but bullish to me. Like, there's no way that he provides, like, he's changed like this, and then we're like another 2 years for PulseChain. Like, that does not calculate into anything. So for me, bullish on the timeline as far as his dev updates go. And he released, we'll talk about a little bit later about the one he released today, but I was like, whoa, that's a great update. Oh, the code is done. And like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but it's pretty good. And I just want to say another thing about Richard that I think kind of goes under the radar, that he really does want to create more people like him, that share the same values. That's the whole thing about the community, the whole thing about gathering people who, can participate and be comfortable with delayed gratification. He talks about a lot. Well, actually, he doesn't talk about enough, actually. When people say, oh, he's greedy, or, why does he act this way? One of the things that always stuck with me that he talked about is, if you're broke, you can't help other people.
That's right.
So he wants to help you not be broke. He wants to give you the tools to not be broke. And what you do with the tools, that's your own thing. You can use the tools to keep being broke. You can use the tools to not be broke. But he wants to say, hey, here's a chance. Here's an opportunity. Here's a fair way of doing it. And if that's in your blood, if that's what you want to do, if that's part of your mission, then you can do it. And but that's the whole thing. People are like, oh, why is it crypto? All you crypto guys are so greedy. It's like, I can't help you if I'm broke. Yeah, I need to have money so I can help you, and stuff like that. So
he genuinely cares.
Yeah,
truly, he does. You can see it.
Is that maybe that I want to ask too? What is the most misunderstood thing about Richard? And we'll come off Richard here in a second, but
Probably.
While we're here, is it that? I mean, that's to me, that's what it is. It's like, why does he want to do all this stuff? He wants glory. He wants to be one of the greatest people in the world. He wants to do medical research afterwards, but he wants to help you, people who have the same values achieve great stuff too by, getting rich, figure out what you want to do, probably a lot of the same cool stuff. Yeah. Let's start with Corey. Like, what do you think's most misunderstood, that or other areas?
Misunderstood. I think he says what he wants to do, which is he wants to make a change, a difference in the world. And he wants to make a change in this new emerging space which is cryptocurrency. I think it's no different than what Elon Musk wants to do and Bill Gates and these guys. I think they have that mindset to change the world in some aspect, whatever niche they're in. And he's been in business. He's been in crypto for over 11 years. I think that's saying something. And to make a change in this space right now, where you have trustless protocols interacting between, peer-to-peer, between individuals on no matter what scale. Like I said, I can't wait till they create a protocol to exchange buyers and sellers of homes and products. Once we get to that level, whoever creates those, those dApps or apps or protocols, they're going to be known and, in history. We're not going to, remember their names, just like the people that create phones and all the data within there and who did that. But I think that the people who create that makes it an everyday use is going to revolutionize the world in a way that, the computer has. And it's just going to be different. And I think he wants to be a part of that. I think he wants to be at the forefront of the thing, which is money, which is right now something that everyone is, the interest rate and all of this stuff that's going on. I think we really need a fix for money. And I think he's working on that to a degree, with HEX and this new platform, PulseChain. And I think that's what he's trying to do, basically.
Yeah, fix the money, fix the world. That's definitely comes to mind when you say that. How about you, Scott?
Yeah, I think people forget about the fact that the man cares. He genuinely cares. You can hear it in his voice when he talks genuinely and he's not doing his thing. When you see the real Richard.
Yeah.
I don't think the real Richard is a clown. I think the real Richard is a genuine, caring dude. Smart dude, super smart dude, likes to have fun, but the man cares and the man wants to help. I truly believe that. You can discern that quite easily, really quickly, if you just listen to him. Yeah. Even when he's doing his antics or was doing his antics, even in that, not the things that he says, he wouldn't say all those things if he didn't truly want to help. But I think people forget that quite easily.
He wouldn't be here. I was just saying he wouldn't be here now.
That's right.
That's saying something in itself.
He doesn't have to be here. He doesn't have to. I think when I think of Richard, he's talked about it before. He said stuff like, I work as hard as I can. I wake up, I work as hard as I can every day, and I go to sleep. And I do the same thing all the time. I can't imagine his routine has changed when it's in the last 22 months for PulseChain, because that seems to be the flow of things. It seems to be, he's not a dev, he's not writing code, but he's managing all the other stuff. We would like to think so. He doesn't have to do that. He could be on a yacht. He could be anywhere he wants in the world. He's rumored to be a billionaire. Pretty sure he is. So he doesn't have to be here answering questions, from plebs, like the common phrase. Like, he doesn't have to be here helping all of us to believe in it. He doesn't have to do anything, but he cares. That is a great way to put it, Scott. He cares and he wants to be. I think he wants to be one of the greatest people in the world. And to do that, it takes a lot of sacrifice, a lot out of you. Yeah. He wants it. So.
He does want that. Yes.
Yeah. And it seems that the people that want to do the best for the world are hated on the most too. So that's saying something too. Great point. Yeah, no
Great point. They always are. They're always I don't know, the Theranos lady kind of messed up the whole first they fight you, then they, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind though, is like that's how it goes. First they fight you, then they I don't remember the phrase, but
who said that?
Y'all remember the phrase?
That was Gandhi, wasn't it? First they laugh at you, or they don't take you seriously or something, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then they join you or something, or then you win.
That sounds like Gandhi. Oh, actually,
quote wrongly attributed to Gandhi. Who do we have?
Yeah. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Yeah.
Well, who wrote it? If it wasn't Gandhi.
We'll just go with Gandhi. I don't know. I think you type in any quote and be like, well, that's not actually the thing. It's like, it doesn't matter always who wrote it. Sure, we want to give attribution where we can, but the words matter more than who wrote the words.
Word.
So, anyways, on a lighter note for Richard, before we move on, what show outside of crypto, trying to reach no coiners, the outrage marketing tactic, is trying to reach no coiners. He's trying to appeal to people, luxury desires, expensive taste that don't already have their favorite crypto. They're not already into Sheeb or whatever it is. So it's really hard to pull those people out. So what show do you think RH could go on next? Would it be on like the mega podcast, like Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman? Is that still a reach? Or, we know Lex, reached out before. Richard didn't want to travel or whatever. But, if they would get him on like Graham Stephan's show or some other big YouTuber, we go think.
I like Lex Friedman and Joe Rogan. I like those, and I think he qualified to be on those platforms too. So I mean, why not shoot for the stars, man? He's been on CNBC, so he's been on television already, recently. So I mean, why not?
I think he could land that.
Yeah, man.
I think he would excel. I think he'd do great on those.
Definitely. We get a Twitter storm going one day and just spam them guys,
just crush them.
It'll happen, it'll be trending within an hour,
Heart on Rogan. Like, I'd love to see that hashtag, heart on Rogan. Let's get it trending. Man, I can because some of my favorite interviews ever, Naval Ravikant interview on Joe Rogan's one of my favorite ever, among a bunch of other ones. But man, just seeing him on there and just being able to go through, his process, his ideas, what he believes, talk about Hexaco, talk about PulseChain, talk about, what's wrong with crypto, why he's fixing it, why it's not evil to focus on price and technology, all that stuff. I think he would just kill it. I would be super excited for that.
I think if he were to do that, which I hope that he does, that'd be amazing for all of us. But if he went on a show like Joe Rogan with a personality like Joe's, he would have to bring, of course he's charming when he wants to be, but he'd have to bring his humor, which is he can bring at any point.
Yeah.
But he would have to, I think, I could be wrong, but I feel like a show like Joe's, he would have to leave the I'm awesome, I'm better than everybody else approach at home. I don't think he could bring that on Joe, because Joe's the type of guy that'll call him out on it. And people that don't know Richard, they'll hear Joe call him out and be like, yeah, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I feel like they have to leave that part of it at the house, but the big, funny, rambunctious, flamboyant, enthusiastic, witty, charming version, bring that. And I think it'd be a great show. People, he'd get millions of people Googling him after, who is this Richard Hart guy?
Yeah. I think he reads the room well. He has a great, reputation so far as within the space, as far as what the cryptocurrency has done. Wasn't it? Who was it? HEX crypto. Who was? Let me see. It was RHMax. It was someone who made a video today that I saw. Oh, HEX Cadet on YouTube. You mean like a 25-minute video? If you watch that video and then you see what he's called out previously and what has happened, I mean, that should be the pass right there for anyone that wants to get into the space. Just watch it and listen to what he says and look what happens. I mean, you would think he's telling the future.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
I saw that.
Obvious.
Was it the recap video? That's what it was, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Rewind.
Yeah.
HEX Rewind 2020.
HEX Rewind 2022.
I guess. Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
That was a good video.
Yeah. I mean, always, I cannot shout out HEX Cadet enough for that video. That was hilarious and entertaining and informative, all in one. Because I was in it. I was in it too. Me and he pulled the interview from Crypto Vince and me. It's a great interview, by the way. But just it was just amazing. He hit on all cylinders. So highly recommend if people haven't watched that. One of the best 25 minutes you'll spend this week.
Yeah, agreed.
Shout out to him.
Just gonna check out the chat for a minute because I've been largely ignoring them. Just been clicking every once in a while. But Dev Huey had some lyrics here that I thought were pretty good. I wanted to throw them up.
Okay.
There we go. Got the lyrics wrong. I woke up in a sweat last night dreaming about PulseX. Won't be long in bed wearing a Rolex. So where'd that come from, Scott? Explain that one, huh?
I don't know. I guess something Some long-haired, clueless guy probably wrote it one day while he was driving
No
to
beard.
Nashville to shoot video.
Okay.
No beard. Performed it on the RHMax channel. The only live performance I've ever had on the channel was Scott. Yeah,
that was fun.
That's a great song. That's a great song.
I need to dig those lyrics back up and play it through a few times to remember it, and I'll do it again one day.
There you go.
I'll do it on stage at some sort of HEX conference. I'm sure that'll happen in the future.
There you go.
I'm gonna drop the link in the chat because now I want to watch it. I wish I had audio. I'd play it on here, but I got to drop that in the chat.
That was fun.
Let's see, Scott Foster Harris, RHMax. It should come up.
That was a lot of fun.
Live. There we go. Yeah,
dun dun dun.
Just throw it. I'll put it on the screen. I won't play it, but I'll put it on the screen because. Fantastic. I made him no ads. I was going to show you the thumbnail, but anyways, everyone go look at that song. But because it's great, super fun. Scott performed at the end of the show. Surprise! Was not planned, at least by me. I didn't know. He's like, "Oh, you want me to sing a song?" I'm like, "Yes, I want you to sing a song."
Here we go.
It was still fresh on my mind then, and I had a guitar over here, which I usually do. I don't have it now, but usually
I don't see the guitar. Did you happen to sell it for HEX or something?
I did sell some guitars. I did. And I used to have another amp, a twin reverb back there. I used to have an old 1978 JMP back there. I've sold a variety of amps and guitars that I don't really ever use anymore. Mm-hmm. And what do you think I did with it?
You delayed gratification. Yeah. You might have DCA'd the bear market. The old
DCA ploy.
Like you got a PhD in DG, delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Just going through the chat here.
So, Sloth, what's up, man?
Yeah, Sloth is in the chat. Another Hedron and Hex. Big
Huey, Mike. Good people.
She walks me. Yeah, Wake Dog had a point. Zoom out on the chart where he's still 85% down.
True story.
To which I responded, that's a lot of potential gains.
Also a true story.
Yeah, and we're it does happen. Lots of stuff is down, and that is kind of the joke that at least yesterday. Today, I don't think anyone's joking anymore. They're like, oh, actually, everything's really good. But a couple of days ago, it was like, HEX is up 50%. It's only down 94% now.
You know what's exciting?
But now it's fine. It's good. So,
you know what's exciting to consider about this particular HEX pump? Because there was so much FUD about what if it never comes back? What if this doesn't work? What if that doesn't work? What if it's over with, et cetera, et cetera. And this brief pump where we basically doubled in a week or two.
Yeah.
This pump puts that to rest. It puts it to bed. It shows people that have probably been worrying for months. Well, what if this is it? What if it's over? What if it doesn't recover? Can it recover? This shows people demonstrably that yes, very much can. Mm-hmm. So I think this has restored a lot of confidence in people that might have been second guessing the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a net positive all across the board. Just my thoughts, my opinion on that, but I think it's an absolute net positive.
Definitely.
And it's okay to. So there's a difference between having moments where you're like, is this real? Like, am I in the right product? Is Richard gonna conquer everything? Like, it's okay to have those thoughts. Sure. But then if you get on Twitter and you literally you start making stuff up, or you just want to be negative in the chat, or you start putting all that negativity out in the world when you really probably don't even know the true story yourself, that's not helping anyone. It's like hurting yourself. You're hurting, everyone else. You're creating that environment that's just not. First of all, it's not based on anything. It's not based on reality. It's just based on some negative feelings you may have had. So as the RHMax, every once in a while, I'll be like, is everything good? I think everything's good. It's probably more than likely it's good. More than even myself, sometimes I'll have those thoughts of, shit, did I go all in on something? Is it going to zero? But I'm like, nah, probably not. I think we're good. So if you're having doubts, that's completely normal. But again, this is a game for people who know how to settle themselves. They know they have a mission. First of all, huge driver for me is being mission oriented. I talked about this on Coffee Stream the other day. Like having a purpose, having a mission, and sticking with that, like keeping your integrity, keeping your focus on what you want. First, figure out what you do want. And then second, like find something that can give it to you if you put in the work. And that's obviously in this ecosystem, we have both of those things, but you have to participate. Like you have to buy in. You can't just be one leg in, one leg out. You got to be in if you really want to succeed here. So you just got to be honest with yourself about what you want, how you're going to get it, and how you're going to go about doing it. And that's what's helped me the most, being in the ecosystem.
Well stated.
I would also say this too, with any investment, any asset, there's always a sense of risk. So it doesn't matter if it's real estate, stocks, doesn't matter. There's always a sense of risk around there. So if you can't handle the risk, then you have to kind of think about what you're investing in and how much you're investing, because a lot of people over-invested. I've seen a lot of people crying on Twitter saying, what's going on with PulseChain? And some people saying, did you over-invest? Because some people were saying they took loans out to invest in PulseChain. I'm like, no, don't do that. But with crypto, you can take some of the money you save and you can make tons of money, and then you can go from there. But again, you don't want to take loans out on things you're not 100%, aware about or understand, and try to get in there and try to beat the game, because no one really does that ever. So get a little education, take your time, like Scott said, dollar cost averaging slowly but surely, and then wait it out and see what's going on, see what's real, see what makes sense to you, and then time will tell at the end.
Unless you are a professional investor, you don't want to take credit out on risk on assets.
No,
ever.
You don't put yourself in the position, like your shelter and your meals are more important than your speculative decisions. Even if you're super confident in them, you need to eat and live somewhere and take care of your family first. That's number one. That should be number one. And that's if you're making mistakes like that, like, need to come up with a better plan. That's you pushing a little too far on that. Like, you can get rich without having to sacrifice everything else. It doesn't have to be 1-for-1 trade like that.
Yeah, don't do a Peter McCormick, man. Okay?
Oh, Peter, secret hexagon, another secret hexagon.
That's what he did.
There's a lot of secret hexagons out there. A lot of secret pulse sacrificers.
Yes.
Quite a few of them.
Yes.
Pip Shinobi mentioned Hedron and Icosa. Who was that? Hex? What's her name? I can't remember exactly. HVid, Vixie or something like that.
HViddy Hex.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Shout out to her. She may have 2 different names, or maybe she got a sister or something.
I think maybe it's a sister. I think she's German. Okay. I think she's from Germany. I think.
I figured. Yeah, she was. She posted a chart that on Richard's thread, or he retweeted or something, that was looking at all the different derivatives and stuff that around Hex that have just been boom. Just
Icosa really came back, didn't it?
Woke up. Icosa woke up.
Yeah, it did.
There's been a lot of tweets around Icosa, like, why is it so low? Like, why is it dipping? We all thought it's going to the moon. And with the Hedron auction, I will say there was a lot of talk. I remember being on stream a lot of times thinking, how can Hedron and Icosa not go crazy with the auctions? But it didn't happen because, maybe macro environment stuff. So
I know it caught me off guard too. But and stay for the long game, man. It will go to the moon.
I very rarely. I only look at the price when I'm about to buy. I mean, of course, sell too, but like, I really never look at the price. It's always like people be like, "Oh, you see what Hex is up?" I'm like, "Oh, Hex is up." Okay, I literally don't know. I just don't even think about it.
It's so much healthier. It's so much more convenient. If you're not a professional active day trader, which I wouldn't recommend anybody do, but people do, and people are successful at it. Most aren't. But man, looking at the price every day of anything is exhausting, and it's emotionally taxing and devastating. Really, that's one of my favorite things about this whole ecosystem and everything that Alex has made, and that which Richard has built, and the different platforms that we have coming out in terms of Power City, in terms of liquid loans, in terms of all of these different options that we have for staking, to where we don't have to look at the assets, and we don't have to look at the dollar price, and we don't have to go look at the price every day and look at crypto market cap or nomics or anything along the coin market cap's what I meant. That's such a blessing, because I know even in the early days when I didn't know anything about anything, and I was looking at price every day, like I wonder what's happening. Dude, it's exhausting. I don't want to live like that. I don't have time for that. Most people don't.
Yeah.
That's why the staking features that are so prevalent, the yield bearing and earning features, the opportunities in this ecosystem all across the board, the fact that they are so prevalent is such an absolute blessing that so many, I think, overlook. That's one of the best parts.
Do you want to spend 23 hours a day trying to get rich trading, or do you want to spend like 5 hours every 6 months setting up your ladders or something? It's like it's 1 + 1. I don't know why people focus on trading so much.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw it over to Richard Hart Dev updates. Somebody asked, T unknown, are we pumping due to some updates? Well, sir, lots of people think that PulseChain is getting closer every day. And this one from Richard Hart, Go Pulse. This is our Go Ethereum, or Geth fork. So G PLS. I'm not sure where they're Richard keeps calling it Geth all the time, but I think it would be like GPLS. Prism, Lighthouse, and Aragon. These are our consensus and execution clients are complete. That's great news. That means the code, the backend code, is done. And he's showed plenty of screenshots of the front end code and the UIs and the forks of Beacon Chain, literally the website to beaconchain.in with the last 2 characters being .in. Those look great and pretty much good to go too. So what he's saying here, I'm going to displane for a second. Aragon Pulse sync is about 20 hours. So say in Aragon, we were on stage 7 for a very long time. And I think stage 7 is one of the longest stages, I believe. There's like a pie chart. If I remember correctly, stage 7, somewhere through there, is a pretty long one. We're in stage 8 of 16. And then, basically just syncing the blockchain data. We're just continuing on, looking pretty good. As you can see here, he's just showing some of the syncing. This is all the processes on the server. It's running the code. So the code complete. It's running the code right here. And what's the 16 core memory, 64 gig. So that's 62 gig there. So 64 gig. By the way, Gamma DevOps has a lot of good videos been coming out about PulseChain updates. And I'll try to keep doing some too as I go through my validator journey. But shout out to him. He actually clued me into some of these more interesting stats around the console here. And this is just a command to look at the file system. And was it 2 terabytes. So the reason why does Richard show all this stuff? So he's showing the code working here, and he's showing the stats of the validator here. So it's running on around 2 terabyte hard drive, like SSD, for example, I imagine. Or this is NVMe, which is that may be like a faster type of drive as well, on a 16 core on the processors and 64 gigs of RAM. So he's giving you a clue of what kind of specs validators are needing, as well as showing you the code is running. So there's your devs playing for the PulseChain update. So
good
are we
stuff.
pumping due to some updates?
Let's go.
We very well could. It could be. You never know.
Let's go. We're waiting for it all.
It's coming. It's coming. I think. Well, so on that too, I know when PulseChain has been beat to death over the last 22 months. But how about I ask you gentlemen this? We'll start with Corey. If I were to run PulseCon 2023, what month would you schedule it for?
Oh man, I would schedule it sometime September-ish, October. Hopefully it releases this summer. Hopefully I'm thinking maybe 3-4 months, no later. So that's what. Yeah, and then give us about 2 months. Let people sell off in the beginning, and then PulseCon bring everyone back. Bring that energy back, and hopefully go back up from there. So hopefully around September, October, me personally. That's what I would think.
Right. How about you, Scott?
Dude, or you nailed it. I agree 100% with everything that you said.
Same time last year, but this year? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Why not? Why not?
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
we definitely shouldn't have, having one conference with it not being a product yet. Okay, whatever. We might have, anybody can make an educated guess and be wrong on that. But having two conferences with no product, I hope the timing lines up well this year. I'll say that. And
me too.
If this year at all, And I know the HEX conference, Maddie's talked about when the next HEX conference is coming up, where it's going to be. Very excited about that. Some speculation's been Texas.
Oh,
Scott,
cool.
Foster Harris. So you got to come to that one. If so, you're local.
Right
man.
on.
I'll be there. Definitely.
I need to make Corey that happen.
Well,
Of course.
We can. You have to happen to have a ranch or something we can all party on, or
not yet.
Get any land down there? It'd be nice.
Not yet, but I'm going for it.
There we go.
That's part of the plan.
What price do you need PulseChain to hit, or before we party at your ranch?
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I have no idea, but hopefully it won't take long.
Okay.
I'm excited to go to the Scott's ranch and hang out and be like, remember when we were on stream talking about how awesome this stuff is, and now it finally paid off? Cheers, sir. Cheers.
That's it, man.
It'd be great. All three of us, plus another 500 hexagons probably.
This will be good. This will be a good day.
Yes.
Let's I'll go through the chat and see if there's any other chat. If there's any other questions, let me know, because we're wrapping up. But I wanted to ask. Actually, let me post this, Michael Light. I believe there are only 15K unique sack. That is amazing. Only 15K sacks for PLS. I think PLSX had a lot more. I don't remember how many, but I think it had a lot more. Michael, if you know, feel free to throw it in the chat. But amazing. He also says spring morning launch, like in the morning of a day in spring.
That'd be cool.
Spring morning, or like early spring. You're saying maybe. I hope so. I think we're definitely getting testnet by spring. I certainly we'll hope for that one, but mainnet.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we wouldn't it be a great summer? Like, wouldn't that be cool in the summertime? Like sometime in the summer. I don't care when, but if we had mainnet summer 2023, just the vibe in the community would just be I don't know. I feel like
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be like just over 2 years. Everyone's like, they're crying and they're laughing at the same time. It's just, I think it'd be beautiful.
Man.
What do you guys think HEX will ratchet up to once V3 is announced?
So the V3 is announced.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying maybe 15 cents. I'm hoping at least 10 cents. We get to 10. That's 10 is there. 10's possible.
Yeah.
We got the time. If it was another 2 months, 3 months, I can see it easily 10 cents.
Yeah. If the announcements are spaced out right and the release is spaced out right, the PulseChain announcement spaced out right. Yeah. Oh, we could climb. We could climb.
Then the bull cycle start back up, and then it starts going.
Yep. We're going to see a whole lot of those green vertical lines that we're looking at right now on that screen. Bunch of those.
And the thing is, those lines start going up green, it's harder for people to sell it down. That's the other thing too. You're not going to have enough to push it down.
Yeah.
So much pushing it up, man.
10 and 15 cents would be just awesome. In the fact that I know a lot of people, when HEX hit, with at least a local bottom, we have no idea, what could happen in the world, what could happen this year. We're still in a bear market as far as I'm concerned. But the 1.8 cents or whatever it was, where the local HEX bottom, we'll call it, a lot of people seem to buy at that. And even that, everyone's buying on the way down, but especially if you called it 2 cents, 1.5, 2 cents, 3 cents, and then you get a 5x on a testnet launch or up to mainnet. I think that's pretty good. Just as a reaction to how strong the ecosystem is. That'd be pretty cool.
And how strong the community is. That is the HEX community, the PulseChain community, the RH community might be, I would argue, its greatest asset. Yeah. It's colossal. Can't be overstated, the importance and the strength of it. Can't be.
I want to mention that I went to a New York blockchain event last month. They have one every month in New York City, every third Thursday. And I went there and they had a guy from Bloomberg that was interviewing individuals. And he was just asking everyone what they did and what they were about and how they got there. And I mentioned HEX, and he didn't really know too much about HEX. I had the HEX chain on, so I was telling him this, my story. And then I also told him, the guy that created PulseChain. And he said, oh yeah, I heard about PulseChain and PulseX. I'm like, so you heard about those two, but you haven't heard about HEX. And I'm like, so that just gives me an idea of, like you said, individuals who are secret people in Pulse and PulseChain. They are out here. They're just not vocal at the moment because they're waiting just like we are. And
I agree.
They're not being paid to talk about it. So that's why we don't hear about it from people who have those influences,
That's right. I agree with you completely.
And if HEX having, if HEX did a 10,000X, having 1/10 of the holders and community that I think PulseChain will achieve, just based on the the broader market comments you've talked about too. Some people don't even know about HEX, but they know about PulseChain. Just imagine, like why can't the meme come true? Why can't the meme come true for PulseChain and PulseX? Like, why not? If HEX did it with much less, financial energy, much less community, much less, people around to even know about it.
Yep.
Like, the sky's the limit for PulseChain.
I agree.
That's it. Yep.
I hope somebody comes and starts developing some. I don't know much about this world, but I do think that gaming is going to be colossal in the coming years. Yeah. Blockchain gaming. I hope some developers come and start building some gaming ecosystems, if that's what you call it, or some. I hope somebody, like we have a Liquid Lounge and we have a Mintra and we have a Power City and we have Fiat and all of these. I hope we get some gaming companies or gaming platforms that are built like a Gala or like Immutable X or like these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Native to PulseChain, because I think that that's going to, in the next handful of years, I think that that's going to be an absolute atomic. I don't want to say that word online. It's going to be nuclear, I think. Yeah. And with a chain like PulseChain, man, just imagine what that would do. We don't even have to know much about it. We can just feel the energy, just feel the vibe when you say that. PulseChain and gaming, it'll be colossal.
Scott, take what you just said and just say the people who are playing these games, not only do they earn PulseX, but they also burn it as they use it. Like that combination and getting that out there, just that idea right there could take it to another level. Yeah.
It's filthy.
Crazy.
It's just filthy to even think about. Yeah. That's the thing.
I'd be happy if Mana, Decentraland, was hey, let's fix our servers and just change a couple settings and rework a little bit of code and make it work on PulseChain so it can actually be affordable to buy items and play the game. And because Ethereum seems to be last I heard is kind of pricing them out on Mana. So come on over to Decentraland. That'd be cool because actually a product that actually works, but it just needs cheap gas fees. Hey,
that's another reason.
Cheap gas fees.
Yeah,
that's another reason why I'm so happy that Richard went with ETH 2.0 because of that, because of its overwhelming popularity, its acceptance all across the board. And now it's going to be really easy for what you just said, like Decentraland, to make a few changes and go live on PulseChain too.
Yep.
How exciting to consider.
Absolutely. Not to crush anyone's hopes of PulseChain launching this year, but everyone, you may need to. I'll say crypto truth as a point. The last couple months, I've been on 2024. I've been like, yep, it's going to be next year. Whatever. It's going to be cool. That's when everyone's predicting the next bull market anyways. It's fine. Let's do it. I can do another year. No worries.
But like you serve time out here.
I can stay in my bed for another year if PulseChain goes to the moon. Yeah. It's just everyone keep pushing out. That would be my advice. Like, don't give yourself anxiety. Don't be like taking loans out you need to pay back in 6 months because of this and that. Like, don't rely on PulseChain launching to solve your problems. Like, just keep pushing it out. And when it launches, I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than disappointed. So that's what I optimize towards. 2024, it may be.
Well stated. I agree.
Yes.
Let's see what's what. I hope it's sooner.
However, testnet should be a lot sooner. Should be. Right. So if you're looking for testnet, if you're making financial decisions around testnet, don't do that either. But it should be a lot sooner.
Yeah.
1 second. I'm just going to write this down.
The old 2 more weeks ploy, huh?
That's it.
Oh man, that's one thing in Hex Cadet's video too was hilarious.
Yeah.
I think he put it in there for the Hexkins. It's awesome. He's like, out of my butt, 6 months, and that was like 22 more weeks later, and he's like, and then like 2 weeks, and then weeks. Oh, we're close. Oh, we're
eternity later.
Yeah, it's like much later.
Yeah, goodness.
Hilarious.
Millennia later. Video. 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. That was good.
Yeah,
hilarious. Just wanted to ask, as we're heading out here, while we're on PulseChain, what is the first thing you're gonna do when PulseChain launches, or like the week leading up to it? What you guys got any plans?
Not much.
Pop a bottle.
Yeah. Dude. We go on Dom Perry. We're doing like a 1K bottle. I made fun some bottles from PulseChain launches. Nice.
Word.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'll probably be sitting on my hands.
Sitting on actually that's I love there's two really good responses to this. One, celebrate, or two, figure out how not to sell anything. Figure out how can I stop myself from messing this up, this amazing thing I happen to get into at the sack price, which, it may explode on launch, it may dip on launch. We don't know what's going to happen, but I think a great response to is after you get finished celebrating, okay, now how am I going to make this work for me? How am I going to save myself from myself with PulseChain? I already know how to do it with HEX. Now, how can I do it with PulseChain?
So I got in on PulseX, of course. I've got HEX. I didn't get on PulseChain. I didn't know anything about anything at the time. I didn't know anything about anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to have a strategy. So I'm going to take what I plan on allocating to PulseChain. I'm going to probably spend 20% of that day one. And then I'm just going to DCA, man. I'm going to over the next couple of weeks, I'm just going to DCA until it's all in. Is that going to get me the best deal? No, but it's going to get me way better than the worst deal. Yeah. And I got to have some from the get-go just to have a seat on the train. And man, I'm just going to DCA, whether it goes way up, whether it crashes, whether it goes below, whatever. I'm just going to keep DCAing. And wherever I land over those first couple of weeks is going to be great.
That's it.
When you look 2 years down the road.
Hey.
That's my plan. And that takes all the stress off my shoulders. It takes all the worry out of my mind. It doesn't keep me up at night. Peace of mind is very important. No one's gonna get it perfect. And I don't even want to get it perfect.
Yep.
I just want to get there.
Get in. That's it.
Get in.
Perfect is the enemy of good that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Just don't. It's also like what Charlie Munger says. I don't. Just tell me where I'm going to die, and I'll never go there. Like, you don't need to even make good decisions. You just have to avoid bad decisions.
Well stated.
That plays into what Scott's saying.
Yeah. My whole mindset of going into PulseChain when it launches is I'm in the PulseChain and PulseX. My whole thing is when it launches, like you just said, we just did a 3-year bid. I'm going to do another 2-year bid because it's just another waiting time. It's just a beginning of the next cycle because, at the moment, I'm just waiting for it to mature, go through what it has to go through, and then wait for the upside because I'm not hard up for it. I didn't take a loan out for it, so I'm just waiting for it to mature, go through its first cycle, see what it does. And again, I'm a long-term investor. I'm here in the HEX for 15 years, so I'm sure I'm going to be within this space over the next 15 years. So there's no rush for me. So that's the goal right there, man.
Love it.
I think if we're all able to stick with our wits and again just avoid making mistakes and just keep delaying like when you think you've delayed gratification enough, you probably haven't. Like if you do it longer, it may work out even better for you. So that's the name of the game in the system, and like everything goes back to it. Every single thing. Oh, why does Richard do this? Oh, why is HEX set up like that? Why am I waiting for PulseChain? Delayed gratification. It all comes back to it. You got to learn it. You got to learn to like it and love it if you want to be successful in this ecosystem. So, name of the game. Right. Gentlemen, fantastic stream. Not that I had any doubts. I mean, these two guys are some heavy hitters in the music, the creative space, and the crypto space. What are the last word? What do you guys got going on? Plans for 2023 for the community. What are your last words before we head off here to start with Scott?
Plans for 2023. Get the album done with the wifey, the new project, Orchids Bloom. Get that bad boy finished. And if I keep going at the rate that I've been going at these last few weeks, I should have it done. We should have it done, by summer. Of course, I thought last summer by fall, and I was wrong, but that's because I got so busy the second half of the year. But if I keep going at the rate I'm going, spring, maybe even late spring or summer. That's the goal. Get that bad boy finished. For the community, I'm gonna keep pumping out I'm gonna keep pumping out these videos that I'm pumping out. 60 seconds of encouragement, or 60 seconds of God, or 60 seconds of something, or 30 seconds of this or that. A quick finance note. I'll maybe write another couple of songs for the community, like the PulseChain song. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
it'd be amazing.
Getting myself more and more involved, as much as I possibly can, given my lifestyle and the time that I have, and I just want to get as involved as I can, within reason.
I'm glad you have a good distraction. I'm glad you got something to keep you busy, and so you're not worried about waiting. Right? It's good to have healthy distractions.
There you go. Yeah, man.
How about you, Corey? What you got going on, man?
Well, me, I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna create a few songs this year. Like I said, 3 videos. Still make some music. I have my songs on SoundCloud under Corey and Investor. So I also made a song PulseChain, PulseX. So I'm still, making videos and songs for HEX, and I'm also creating NFTs as well. So I also have like 3 NFTs on OpenSea under Hexakin Music. And so I'm just trying to, get out there, be within the space, and just, trying to innovate, man. Trying to be an innovator and motivator, man. Yeah, man.
I can find him real quick.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, put Hexakin Music. Yeah, come on.
There we go.
That me.
Are they full song? Are they full songs, or what are they?
Yeah, they're full songs. Yeah.
Oh,
man, that's cool. That interests me.
Up to the right.
Crypto gangsta music. Nice, man.
Okay.
I like that. All right. I'll drop that in the chat too. Some people. Well, I'll drop the main one in the chat so people can check that out if you're interested in.
Appreciate it, man.
NFTs.
Love that.
Yeah, while we're here, before we go off, since I never ever get to plug my stuff, I wrote a song once. I had a beat made again. Scott Foster Harris got me into it. Well, it's supposed to play on the front. Oh, I guess when you're live, it'll replace it. Okay, I know. The big pumpamental. Well, I think PulseChain, forgot to spell pumpamental. Seriously, not
pump for
RHMax. Oh, that's right.
PUMPA.
So there we go. The big pump. Let's preview. Oh, here we go. So if anyone's interested, dang, I wish it would show the preview. Okay, anyways, right here. I wrote the lyrics, did the vocals, got it produced remotely. Crazy experience. Very fun though. I found a great producer. If anyone's looking for a producer to do stuff remote wise, let me know. I got a great guy. And this was a really fun one to do. And I also have the lyrics. If anyone is just want to look at the lyrics sometimes, proud of my lyrics. As I told Corey the Investor, I love his lyrics, and it's like one of my. If you write songs with good lyrics, I nerd out to good lyrics on stuff. So I pride myself on that kind of stuff. Yeah, when I first met Corey, I was like, man, not just your beat, not just your flow, not just the way your style. I love the words that come out too. So, anyways,
thank you, man.
If anyone's interested, I'll throw it in there as well. I'm like, it's a music show. I'm gonna plug my song real quick.
Hey, what platform did you use to get it produced out remotely?
I just recorded. So he made the beat and then he sent it to me, and then I recorded my vocals using. And what did I think it just GarageBand. I think I used GarageBand and he used the other Mac app. He just converted it from GarageBand to whatever the other one was.
Is it a guy? Or is it the producer? Is it someone that you know, or did you find him on a platform like SoundBetter? Or
SoundBetter, yeah, I found him on there. Yeah. That's again Scott's reference. He's like, SoundBetter, and I got on there and I found a perfect guy. Like super nice, super creative, easy to work with. Went back and forth. Probably 5, 6, 7 times. Like, can you fix this? Like, I don't hear it. And I'm like, no, but it's right here. And then it's finally, oh, I hear it. And then like, we had all this conversation, but super easy to work with. So anyone who wants to, if you don't have a studio to go to, but you know how to, you want to do vocals, and you want to write songs, you can remotely produce it these days. I had no idea you could do that.
That's half my income is studio work from from Sound Better, air gigs, and then just clients that I've acquired over the years during travels. Like half of my income is I come up here upstairs in the studio and I stand over there in the corner with another computer and I run everything through all this gear that you can't see, but there's preamps and compressors and EQs all over the place. And I get professional world-class sounding vocals right here. And then then I'll bounce it down into ultra high quality wave files, and I'll send it to Europe, to England, to Germany, to China, to Seattle, to LA, to anywhere in the world. As send it over to Japan or India, wherever the people are that hire me. And that's how, and so I have clients all over the world. That's what I do half the time. That's half our income is that.
Dude, we're going to have to jam one day, especially when you have that ranch after PulseChain.
Yeah.
Me, you, and Corey, we're going to do a song together. I have a feeling. We're going to do some stuff.
Deal. We'll ride horses and play guitars.
Say less.
At the same time.
Yes. I want that. All of that. Let's do it, man. Yeah. Gentlemen, where can people find you? Corey, we got your SoundCloud here. Where else can people find you?
Yeah, I'm on IG, YouTube, same name, Corey an Investor. On Twitter, I'm on WizKid, WIZKIDD77. And yeah, man, like I said, on OpenSea, trying to create some music and just out here, man, trying to live life, retired. So I'm just trying to keep my health first and try to do what I can within the space in the meantime. So
yeah, man.
That's it.
Amazing. Good to have you here. And Scott, how about you? It looks like you got at Scott Foster Harris on YouTube.
I'm at Scott Foster Harris on almost everything except Twitter, because I think it was one letter too long. So Twitter is official SFH, which you can see up there, but at Scott Foster Harris on everything else.
Gotcha.
You can find me.
Everyone.
I just want to say one person. I want to shout out Tobler Roos for this painting right here. He made this painting recently.
Look at that. Speaking of ranch, look at that bull.
There we go.
There we go. Right here, Richard Hart, the PulseChain.
I like that. That's cool.
Shout out to Tobler Roos, man. I'm sorry about that.
Shout out. Excellent. I love artists. I love just creating stuff, producing things. It's just good for the soul. And it just feels like you can really express yourself when you make something. You're just not sitting and watching Netflix all day. You made something. Like that's weirdly unique in today's world. But yeah, RH is coming to the ranch too. We're going to do like a bull. Can we do like a bull ride? Not bull ride. What do you call it? Running for the bulls, the run with the bulls type of thing. That'd be cool.
I mean, anything's possible.
Okay.
There you go.
When
we pop that top that Corey was talking about, and then we'll do something like that.
There we go.
Hey, the chat's on board too. Chat's on board. Sounds
all right.
All right, guys. Let's see. We'll just say Friday. I'm taking the weekend off. When I say that, I'm only taking the streaming off. I'm going to be working on my validator setup and some more content around that, making sure I'm ready for the PulseChain testnet launch, because it's coming up, and I want to make sure I'm ready. Been experimenting with the Ethereum testnet stuff and watching some videos, and hopefully can figure it out. It's actually not easy to set this stuff up. So even coming at technical background, like I hope to make it. I'm writing some scripts, writing some documentation. Hopefully, make it easier for other people. So awesome. That'll be good. That's my taking the weekend off. I'm just going to dive into this other project for a couple of days, and then I'll be back next week with lots of interviews and lots of streams, and it'll be fun. I got some great people coming up. But yeah, today Corey an Investor and Scott Foster Harris, everyone. Two rock stars, rap stars, creators in the business of crypto, as we call it. Excellent stream, gentlemen. Thanks for coming.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Yep. Thank you, Max. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And with that, we are out.